Let us study nutrition in plants. Plants can make food for themselves, but animals, including humans, cannot. Humans and animals are directly or indirectly depend on plants. Plants are the only organisms that can prepare food for themselves. The process of taking food by an organism as well as the utilization of this food by the organism is called nutrition. Okay, children, what is nutrition? The process of taking food and utilization of this food by the organism is called nutrition. Okay. Organisms follow two modes of nutrition: autotrophic nutrition and heterotrophic nutrition. Autotrophs means those can synthesize their own food like green plants. Auto means self, trophs mean nourishment. Those organisms which can make food themselves from simple substances like carbon dioxide and water by the process of photosynthesis are called autotrophs. Auto means self, trophs means nourishment or nutrition. So all the green plants are the autotrophs. Okay. Animals and most other organisms taking food prepared by the plants. They are called heterotrophs. Those organisms which cannot make food themselves by the process of photosynthesis and take food from green plants or animals are called heterotrophs. All the non-green plants and animals comes under this heterotrophs. Heteros means others. That means they cannot synthesize their own food but depends on green plants or other animals for their food. Okay, clear? Understood the difference between autotrophs and heterotrophs? Dear children, next we can study photosynthesis. The process by which green plants make their own food from carbon dioxide and water by using sunlight energy is called photosynthesis. Okay, photosynthesis means the process by which plants are synthesizing food by using the raw materials. What are the raw materials? Carbon dioxide, water, sunlight, and chlorophyll will be present in the leaf itself. So these are the essentials. What are the essentials of photosynthesis? Sunlight, carbon dioxide, water and chlorophyll which is present in the leaves. So you can see oxygen here. That oxygen is formed as a byproduct of photosynthesis. See the leaf which is the photosynthetic organ or food factories of the plant. See why those leaves are green in color? It is because of a pigment chlorophyll that give green color, and this chlorophyll only can trap sunlight and that converts sunlight into a chemical energy, that is in the form of food. See how carbon dioxide is enters into the plant body. The leaves of the plants are provided with the small pores called stomata. This small pore is called stomata. And see, these two are the guard cells, this one and this one. Bean shaped cells, these two are the guard cells. These regulate the opening and closing of this pore. And these guard cells also contain chloroplast. These chloroplast contain chlorophyll molecules. See, this is the structure of a chloroplast. This chloroplast only can trap sunlight. See, sunlight we are getting from sun. And the chlorophyll molecule which is present in the chloroplast. Chloroplasts are tablet-like structure present in the plant cells. And these chlorophyll convert light energy into a chemical energy. You know, the roots absorb water from the soil. And soil water is utilized by the green plants. And inside the stem, leaf as well as root, tiny pipes are there which helps in the transport of water. And these are the vessels which called as xylem. And these xylem of leaf, stem and root are interconnected. So through this stem, the water reaches into the photosynthetic organ leaf. See children, carbon dioxide which enters into the plant body through the stomata, and water from the soil absorbed by the root, and through the stem it passes towards the leaves and other raw materials, chlorophyll and sunlight. That means in presence of chlorophyll and sunlight, this carbon dioxide and water is converted into a carbohydrate, that is glucose, and as a result forming oxygen that goes into air. The entire process can be summarized as, or we can represent as, carbon dioxide plus water in presence of sunlight and chlorophyll producing glucose and oxygen. See, what will happen if there is no photosynthesis on earth? Can you imagine that? In the absence of photosynthesis, there would not be any food. The survival of almost all organisms directly or indirectly depends upon the food made by the plants. Besides, oxygen, which is essential for the survival of all organisms, is produced during photosynthesis. So, in the absence of photosynthesis, life would be impossible on the earth. Thank you. You know, normally photosynthesis takes place in leaves of plants. But in some plants, other than leaves, photosynthesis takes place in green stem and green branches. Look at this plant, children, the cactus. The stem is green in color. There are no leaves. Leaves are modified into spines. Here, green stem and green branches can do photosynthesis because they contain chlorophyll molecules. You might have seen slimy green patches in ponds or stagnant water bodies. These are formed by the growth of algae. Can you guess why algae are green in color? Yes, because they contain chlorophyll which gives them green in color. Algae can also prepare their own food by photosynthesis. See the leaves with the different colors. Do they have chlorophyll? Yes, the leaves other than green also have chlorophyll. The large amount of red, brown and other pigments mask the green color. So, photosynthesis takes place in these leaves also. Listen children, there are some plants which do not have chlorophyll. Such plants depend on the food produced by other plants. Plants which do not make their own food and obtain food from others are called heterotrophic plants. Let us study different heterotrophic modes of nutrition in plants. See, first one is parasites. Parasites means which derive food from the living host. Next is saprotrophs. Saprotrophs means those derive food from dead and decaying organic matter. Next is symbionts. Two organisms living together for mutual benefit are symbionts. Next, insectivorous plants. That means some plants consume insects. Let us study heterotrophic nutrition in detail. Look at this picture, children. You can see a yellow wiry branch structure winding around the stem and branches of the tree. This is a plant called Cuscuta. It does not have chlorophyll. It takes ready-made food from the plant on which it is climbing. The plant on which it is climbed is called the host. Since it obtains food from the host plant, Cuscuta is called parasite. See children, parasites are the living organisms which obtain their food from other living organisms, maybe plants or animals. Organism from which the parasites obtain food is called host. See the Cuscuta. It has highly branched golden yellow leafless stem without normal roots. The winding stem of Cuscuta developed a special root named as hostoria to suck food from the host plant. See children, other than Cuscuta, you find out some other parasitic plants. Okay? You might have seen packets of mushrooms sold in the vegetable market. You may also have seen fluffy umbrella-like patches growing in moist soil or rotting wood during the rainy season. Where they are getting the nutrients to survive. Or take a piece of bread and spread water over it and leave it in a moist, warm place. After 2-3 days, you can see cotton-like threads spread on the piece of bread. These organisms are called fungi. They have a different mode of nutrition. They absorb nutrients from the bread. This mode of nutrition in which organism take in nutrients from dead and decaying matter is called saprotrophic nutrition. And such organisms with the saprotrophic mode of nutrition are called saprotrophs. Fungi also grow on pickles, leather, clothes, and other articles that are left in humid weather for a long time. During the rainy season, they spoil many things. Is it? Symbionts or symbiotic plants. Symbionts are two organisms living together for the benefit of one another. The relationship between two organisms living together for mutual benefit is known as symbiosis. A common example is a bacterium named Rhizobium, which lives in the root nodules of pea plants. This rhizobium has the ability of fixing nitrogen from air into nitrates. Thus, rhizobium, which supplies mineral nutrition to the host plant, and this bacteria obtains water and carbohydrate from the root nodules. Another example for symbionts are lichens. Lichens are a pair of symbionts having an algae and a fungus living together. Let us study insectivorous plants. Insectivorous plants eat living insects for their food, hence they are also called carnivorous plants. That is, they are able to synthesize their own food. Insectivorous plants grow in marshy places with their roots in mud where they are not getting nitrogenous nutrition. To overcome this deficiency, their leaves are modified to trap insects which are killed and consumed. Body of insects is protein. You know, it is a nitrogenous food. Some common examples of insectivorous plants are pitcher plant, sundew, Venus flytrap, and Utricularia. Let us see how nutrients are replenished in the soil. The main nutrients required by the plants are nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. These are called mineral nutrients. When the plants are grown, they absorb the nutrients from the soil, due to which the amount of plant nutrients in the soil goes on decreasing. And when the crop plants are grown in the same fields again and again, then also the soil becomes deficient in plant nutrients like nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. Due to this, the plant nutrients need to be added from time to time to enrich the soil and restore its fertility. Nutrients are replenished in the soil by adding fertilizers and manures. Most commonly used fertilizers are NPK and urea. NPK fertilizers provide nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium to the soil, whereas urea provides only nitrogen. And this nitrogen promote green leaf growth and make the plants look lush. It also help in photosynthesis. Out of all the plant nutrients, The crop plants grown in the fields require nitrogen in maximum amount to make the proteins. Though a lot of nitrogen gas is present in the air, plants cannot use nitrogen in gaseous form. The plants need nitrogen in the form of nitrates. The rhizobium bacteria, which lives in the root nodules of leguminous plants, can convert nitrogen gas of air into nitrates. So, when a leguminous crop is grown in a field, the rhizobium bacteria present in the root nodules can convert nitrogen gas of air into nitrogen compounds, that is, nitrates. The farmers do not need to put nitrogen fertilizers in the field in which leguminous crops have been grown earlier. How nutrients are replenished in the soil? By adding fertilizers and manures, and also by growing leguminous crops.